A lot of the ESO community plays the game solo, more like Skyrim than an MMO. And the crazy thing about it is the developers are completely okay with this, and they even talked about it in a recent interview, and today I'm going to break down why this might be the best single-player MMO experience out there and kind of what that means for the future of the game. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. Rich Lambert and Nick Giacomini in a recent interview talked about kind of the start of the Elder Scrolls Online and how the experience went from being an Elder Scrolls game and an MMO in their mind to an Elder Scrolls game first, then an MMO. He also talked about how a lot of people are playing the Elder Scrolls Online just waiting for the Elder Scrolls 6. And we know that that could be any time from now till the end of time is how a lot of people joke about it. And I really wonder if it's going to come out before 2030, honestly. We got an announcement, that quick announcement in 2018 about the Elder Scrolls 6 and really have heard nothing but rumors since. And he said a lot of people in Rich's mind kind of came over from Skyrim. After playing it for years and years and years, they finally decided to give ESO a chance. And even after the recent Oblivion Remastered update, people that have never played the Elder Scrolls Online decided to hop in and give it a try. He said a lot of players play the MMO like a single player game, which is well suited to after the development tweak they had to make following the troubled launch. He said, in the early days at launch, we tried to walk this kind of tightrope where it was a MMO and Elder Scrolls, and we didn't really hit either of those particularly well. And when we decided to go out and make it Elder Scrolls first, MMO second, that helped solve a lot of the problems, and we started to see players coming in and saying, oh, you mean I can do this stuff solo? I don't have to have other people to play with. And things kind of just organically happened. He said there's a lot of people that play the game that way, and there's a lot of people that just do housing or just do PvP or just play the, of course, newly introduced card game. That is one of the great things about ESO in general, is they build their systems over time, but at its core, a lot of players do like to play the game like a single player game. And it is very true. There's tons and tons of people that just play solo. They go in, they do the zones, the original zones, the story zones, and play it just like you would be playing Oblivion or Skyrim. And it's kind of interesting in a lot of people's minds, I guess, the developers are all right with this. That's always kind of the conversation. You know, one part of the ESO community wants more single player stuff, more companion stuff like that. One part of the community wants more PvP oriented stuff. One part of the community wants more housing stuff. One part of the community wants more in-game stuff like trials, group activities. And it's an interesting balancing act in my opinion, but I do feel like a lot of the casual player base, the players that may not play every single day, or if they do, they only log in maybe for an hour or two, or they just play a lot on the weekends, or just a couple hours on the weekends, maybe only 10 to 15 hours a week or less. A lot of those players play solo. And I think Zos knows that they're definitely going to have to tailor towards everyone, but that larger part of the player base may be more solo-friendly oriented type of players. So they're going to do a lot of things for them. And I really don't have an issue with that as long as they still continue to put out content for everyone else as well. And that's a very hard balancing act in my opinion. Even him talking about how they were trying to, make the game MMO or ESO and MMO at the beginning, and it was kind of a tightrope. I feel like where they're at now is still kind of a tightrope because you have a lot of different people playing the game a lot of different ways. And their kind of talk over the last several years has always been revolved around play the game any way you want. But it's also hard, as we know, to update, put out stuff for everyone. So I think that's why we see a lot of updates have, maybe a new dungeon or a couple new dungeons, a new trial here or there, some new housing stuff, some new antiquity stuff, some new story stuff, because they do stories really well inside of the Elder Scrolls Online. So the solo players are happy with that. But they can't really vary one way or another strongly towards one thing or another, because if they do, they're going to lose some of their player base. And I think trying to keep everyone happy is going to still be a task, no matter how long the Elder Scrolls Online, stays a game. They're talking about wanting this to be a 30-year MMO now. That's going to be a pretty interesting, or actually pretty crazy task, in my opinion, to try to keep all of these players, all these different types of players, happy for that long. Because if we look at anything else like, maybe World of Warcraft has been out for a long time, 20 years plus now. That game is a little more tailored towards group play. Not all the way, but you know what I mean. Where the Elder Scrolls is one of those games that just has everything in it. And there's not many MMOs out there that has a little bit of everything for everyone. And I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to work out. It seems like they're really happy with players coming in and just treating it as a single player game. And they're also really happy with, players wanting to play just PvP or just dungeons or just trials. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Where do you see ESO going in several years from now? Do you think it's going to be tailored more towards the single player, solo friendly, maybe more casual style play? Or is it going to stay kind of where it is now in the middle, where they're putting something out for everyone in each update? Leave me a comment with your thoughts. And of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. And I'll catch you next time. Peace.